University.
It's fantastic to see here. So this is going to be the Princess Grace, the Open Women's Quads event, started in 2007. We're looking at the two crews here on the right-hand side here. This is Reading University A, and next to them on the left is Nottingham Rowing Club and Warrington Rowing Club. Apologies.
Yeah, so the Reading University came through qualifiers, had a great race yesterday against Calgary to put them in this semi-final of the Princess Grace Challenge Cup for women's quads. Princess Grace, of course, well, her dad was a famous rower, very famous rowing family, and actually she did present the prizes here in 1981, and I was chuffed because I did win the stewards in 81, so I've been presented a prize by Princess Grace of Monaco, the film star who went to marry Prince Rainier. Very romantic, but rowing very much part of the heritage, and of course Prince Albert of Monaco is such a strong supporter of rowing in the Olympic movement, does a lot of coastal rowing in Monaco, or certainly used to.
Well, there you go, a barrage of history to start us off here, and a family affair, as you say, Martin, and Richard Budgett, an enormous guy, enormous oarsman, Dr. Richard Budgett, Olympic team doctor for many years with British rowing.
Yeah, and just interesting, I mean, he was at Cambridge and I never picked him for the blue boat, and he was Olympic champion. How much sense did that make in selection policy?
Well, I wasn't around at the university then, but I think he was a later developer probably in your terms.
So in effect you've got the British women's under-23 quad for the World Championships in Plovdiv on the left of your picture. They are four fantastic scullers, and Reading University, who really have done a fantastic job to come through the qualifiers to be in this position by beating Calgary.
Off they go, and it looks like a clean start from both crews. The Reading crew, I think, will be looking to try and take the race to the under-23s on the left of your picture, so they'll be looking for an aggressive start, see if they can shake them, stop them getting into their rhythm and surprise them as they go down the course.
It's really interesting, isn't it, the tactics? We're Reading just coming over towards the under-23s there, but Reading on the right of your picture. That's really what the coach is going to have said. Just stay with them early on, see if you can rattle them, and probably, he said, just enjoy yourselves.
Absolutely. I heard that Poppy Durkin in the 2 seat here for Reading said, look, we didn't expect to get so far in the competition. She said this yesterday, very happy to be here. Everything from here is a bonus. We're confident rowers, and we feel like we've not yet been pushed to our full capacity. I suspect this might be the race where they find that they are pushed to their full capacity. Look at the lead already from the under-23s on the far side.
Yeah, there was 7 seconds between them in time to the barrier yesterday, and so it's no surprise. It'd be nice just to say a few things about Reading University in the programme, because they've got such a great men's and women's programme going on there, and if those of you that don't particularly know the sport of rowing think, well, there's a big bit of difference between these crew. I mean, it's for student women, and for them it is a huge, massive deal, and for the university to be in a women's event at Henley, not just a women's event, but the top women's event at Henley. And I can't stress how hard these women have worked all year, well, for many seasons, just to be in this position. So it might look like they're losing by a lot. They're losing to some great scullers, but it is an enormous achievement for the boat club.
Yeah, I mean, the British under-23 women on the far side really look extremely good. Look at that blade work, tight blade work, aggressive catches, sweeping through, really powerful. And the Reading University women are absolutely no slouches here, well drilled and experienced, but it just shows you that the international standard is so high.
Yes, the competition to get into national teams now, whether they're at junior level, under-23 level or senior level, is enormous in Britain. It's the best funded programme in the world, £36 million for this Olympiad, and that money goes into all sorts of projects and programmes, world-class start to bring young boys and girls into the sport, and supports various high-performance centres, and it is so competitive, and I guess it's why your old school Hampton really now struggles to get boys into the team, because there are so many centres of excellence around now.
Yeah, I think we've gone from a sport where, frankly, some of us only started in the sport because we weren't so good at many of the other sports, to a sports where athletes actually seek out the opportunities to compete for their countries. And we've seen that right through the events here at Henley this year. Some of the best racing I can remember through the regatta.
So we're watching the semi-final of the Princess Grace Challenge Cup for women's quadruple sculls. It's a bit of a mismatch at the moment, because you have the British under-23 women's quad elect on the right of your screen, racing the women from Reading University. Just zooming in there on the back of Anna Thornton. She does her studies at Washington University. In fact, this quad's only just come together, really, because three of the ladies in this crew. The bow three have come from Washington University. So Anna Thornton's from Washington, Kyra Edwards in the 2 seat. She's at UCLA with Saskia Budget. Of course, UCLA, we said yesterday in commentary, was the Olympic Village in 1984 and will be if Los Angeles is successful in the 2024 Olympic bid.
Yeah, Martin, you talked there about the fact that some of these British women and men athletes are now studying at US universities. There's just much more funding available, tremendous facilities at some of those universities. It's hard for the system here in Britain to compete. Yeah,
well, we're going to see the boys in that under-23 for in the stewards come down, you know, 3 of them from Yale. I mean, they've been chucked 50 grand to go to Yale. It's an enormous amount of money.
So you're facing the choice, do I go to Yale University, great rowing programme, and come out debt-free, or do I challenge myself in the British system?
Yeah,
how do you compete?
Well, and it's why the British system has had to come to terms. You know, really they want all the athletes at Caversham, but the British system has had to come to terms and say, you know, we can't compete with this level of academic excellence, this level of funding. So they've had to open the Caversham doors, just a chink in the armour this year to bring scholarship students back. There's the camera on Saskia Budget. We took a lot of time in her in commentary, but just, well, she's rowing behind. Phenomenal. I talked to the coach of stroke Lucy Glover, Richard Sinner. He very kindly came up to me just before the crew went on the water. He coaches up at Warrington Rowing Club, and he says this woman is a phenomenon, this young lady. She's just finished her A-levels. So she's the Brit in the crew from Warrington Rowing Club. She got a silver in the women's quadruple scull last year. Pretty much like Jess Layden, who won the singles title in the women's junior sculls for Britain. But she's just a one-year junior, so she can't row in the juniors this year. She's in the under-23s, and he says she is amazing.
I was just watching the style with which she's stroking that crew there. Look at that, really long, powerful strokes, beautifully connected. And you can see as you look back on this quad, you know, the blades are moving as one, the bodies are moving as one, and they're driving through, the boat's running really flat, really level. That's the way to row fast, and it's obviously easier when you're somewhere ahead of your opposition.
Yeah. And you get a shot of that bows, and there's not a lot of rise and fall in that bow. And really what that shows you is just that they're catching the boat on the rise, the boat's moving forward. There isn't really much opportunity for that boat to slow down, so they're actually being really effective in what they're doing.
Yeah, we should say that, you know, the average weight is about 70 kilos, so that's what, 280 kilos is moving up and down the boat every stroke by a metre, and that will cause it to rise and fall. And the more you can minimise that, the more the boat will run for you. So it's not just about applying the power, it's about making sure you let the boat move forward without disturbing it too much. And that's what the under-23 quad that you can see here in the front of our picture is doing so beautifully, and really efficient rowing from there.
So we're probably about, what do you reckon, 2/3 of the way down the course, Matt?
Yeah, so 2/3 of the way down the course, and this is one of the challenges of the Henley course. It's 2,112 metres long. That's a bit longer than the standard international course. You don't have the standard 250 and 500 metre marks, so if you're not sure where you are on the course, that can be quite disturbing, wondering quite how much more you've got to go to the finish.
Really nice back end off the... I asked Richard Sinner, the Warrington coach, I said, why is she so strong? And he pointed to his head and said she's, you know, mentally got it, but she's really strong round towards the back end of the stroke. And you can see that just as they come down into a sort of lower cadence. That's you know, less strokes per minute if you're watching rowing for the first time. Stroke per minute is indication often of how fast or how hard a crew's going. But, you know, that really does give the women in this boat a chance to hang on to the finish and just send the boat away nicely, and Lucy Glover is setting that up beautifully in the stroke seat.
Yeah, I mean, the stroke in any boat has an extra job to do over the other athletes, I guess, which is to set the pattern for all of them, not just the length of the stroke, but also the rhythm of the stroke. Where do you go fast, where do you go slower, how long you hold on to it, and a talented stroke can make all the difference if they give the other athletes in the boat time to apply that power. Look at them just levering it beautifully along, and what you're doing, of course, is you're trying to lever the boat past the oar's staying pretty much stationary in the water, and it's about levering, it's about pushing.
I wish I could scull like that. I mean, I think I try and smack it in too much, and I've try not to do that, but these women have got it, you know, that's the standard of sculling now, much better than my day.
They're across the finish line, a great victory for the under-23 British women's quad. And I think absolutely no shame for their opponents there from Reading University A crew, crossing the line now, exhausted, but they've seen the next step, and I think that will inspire many of them to go on and hopefully to push their way into the British team and into the British squad.
Yes, enjoyed watching that race, demonstration of great sculling, and credit to their coach Lauren Fisher. Reading University their Henley Odyssey is over, but it is an odyssey. It has been an odyssey as Kyra Edwards and Anna Thornton just congratulate each other. Congratulations to Reading University.